I'm here in Denver, mid-August 2024 for the ConnectWise Big IT Nation Evolve and Grow event. I'll be doing interviews this whole week with managed service providers that are here and with vendors and with ConnectWise staff and ConnectWise leadership. Hope to gain some insight on the happenings that are going on. Also great insight from the managed service providers. But the following interview will be from this event here in Denver. Thanks so much for listening. Hi, I'm Joey Pinz. People ask me, how did I lose 130 pounds? The quick answer is always discipline. I started my business, wasn't paying attention to my health, was eating too much, drinking too much sweets. My daughter was born. Next thing I know, I'm pre-diabetic, I have hypertension. I knew something had to change. Discipline. I, like many of you, have faced many challenges in your career, in your family, in your life, in your faith. How did you attack them? How did you approach them? How did you solve them, hopefully? It all had to have some degree of discipline. I'm also asked, how did you found and start a tech business that lasted over 25 years? Discipline. I was committed to it, enjoyed technology, didn't enjoy some aspects of it, but knew it was necessary. Discipline. Our podcast mission, how do we use discipline to better ourselves and society? Join me, please, as I talk to interesting people and discuss how they use discipline in their family and their passion and their careers and how it helped them. Our podcast vision, growth through learning from others. Joey Pinz Discipline Conversations. It'll be light and serious. Join us, please. Thank you for consideration. Rick, it's so nice to meet you.
Yeah. Great meeting you, Joe.
I'm a Manchester City fan. And yes.
Huh.
Yeah, and being an Ajax fan, I don't know if we ever, maybe in the Champions League, I don't know if there must have been some history, no? More United, probably.
We won 3 Champions League Cups back in the 70s and 80s.
70s and 80s.
Yeah, it's been a while. But
Yes.
yeah, we don't have the funding like the UK teams anymore.
Yes, there's a lot of external money there, that's for sure. Yeah. But I mean, Ruud Gullit, Cruyff. I mean, these are Van Basten. Bergkamp. Van Nistelrooy, yes. These are the players. These are world-class players in those orange jerseys. I mean, I would follow. So we would still call it Holland.
Yeah.
And you're going to have to explain to me the difference between Holland and the Netherlands.
Same thing.
It's
the analogy is England and the UK.
I see.
So Holland is are 2 provinces.
Provinces, yeah. But Cruyff, I mean, I would teach when I coached my girls the Cruyff move.
Yeah.
You fake the cross and you cut back.
Yeah.
I mean, I give myself chills. I mean, I would watch these players and worship them.
I quote Cruyff in our ELT meetings.
Do you?
Yeah, because it's when we talk about target setting and setting goals, Cruyff's statement was, if you don't shoot, you cannot score. So you got to aim high and not be afraid to aim high. Because if you don't aim high, you're never going to get there.
Wayne Gretzky had a similar quote. You miss all the shots
he was
take or something like that.
Yeah, he was San Jose Sharks, right?
He was Wayne Gretzky was LA. I don't think he was with the Sharks ever, was he?
I think so.
Oh, did he make the Sharks ever?
Totally. I'm from San Jose, so.
You're from Jose.
Yeah, I've seen him play.
Yeah, pretty good player.
Yeah, pretty good player.
Pretty good
Definitely.
Player, yeah. But you're do you still follow Ajax when you're here? Do you watch?
Oh, every single week. Yeah.
I do too.
They're playing Panathinaikos on Thursday.
Did the league start already?
It's the Europe League.
I see.
Yeah.
I see. Very good. Yeah. So many great players.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Do you still play at all?
No, not really. I'm more of a runner now.
Yeah.
A little bit of swimming, tennis, that kind of stuff.
It's taxing. Soccer's a young person.
Yeah,
sport.
bad on your knees when you get older.
Your knees and, yeah, but still so much. It formed my adulthood. I mean, just being on a team, and my girls, they didn't continue playing when I coached them, for a long time. You got to substitute it forever.
Do you still call it soccer? Or you still call it football? Being here in America.
We call it soccer now, but
Right,
yeah,
when
it,
you're there,
it is
yeah.
really football. Yeah.
Yeah. How is the Holland League?
They're doing pretty well. It's most of the Dutch teams now are farmer teams for the UK teams or the Spanish teams or the Italian
Oh,
teams.
yes.
Because again, budget-related issues. We don't have the big Saudi money behind it.
Why not? It's only a matter of time.
I think
right?
the country and the sport is too small. The country is too small.
I
So
see.
marketing dollars, right? You need to have a certain size of. But in the European League, we still do pretty well. We made it to the semifinals in the Euro Cup this summer. So
Very nice.
national
yeah.
team.
Yeah, that was an incredible tournament. My
Yeah.
goodness, I watched it every minute.
You did?
Yes.
You saw the semifinal against England.
I did.
That penalty wasn't fair. But anyway, the British won.
Yeah, the British won, but then that was it. But
Yeah, that was it.
that was it. Yeah, that was it. And then, of course, Spain ended up winning the Olympics too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That's
against
right.
France.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just a. Do you like all the rule changes? You like VAR?
Yeah, I think it's good. I think it's fair in terms of when it's really offside or if the ball is over the line when you score a goal. I think it's a fair, better
Yeah.
way to. Sometimes it's annoying because it takes a while.
It does.
So if they can do it a little faster, that would be great. But other than that, yeah.
And the technology with the offsides is improving.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
I see that.
it's very good.
And of course, the technology on the goal line has been a big improvement. That's
Yep.
been a while. That's a little older.
Right.
But there was some goals where the ball was clearly in and they didn't call it. They didn't know.
Right.
And actually, I think Euro Cup was the first time they actually had a chip in the ball, where they could
That's
actually
right.
tell some handlers. There's some handles you couldn't see
Yes.
on the camera, but they're like the ball can tell because it changed directions.
Yes. Yeah.
It's incredible where technology is
I
actually
know.
helping our sport.
I agree. Yeah.
Only for the better, perhaps.
Absolutely.
I guess we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we're here in Denver, Rick, and
Yeah.
it's the third quarter. It's August, and we're at
Yeah.
Evolve, which is under IT Nation, and Grow, which
Absolutely.
is tomorrow. What's some of your goals for the event?
Well, I'm really, and I've been meeting quite a few of our partners. Of course, this is our elite group of partners that are here these few days, and it's been great interacting with them. Learning about their business, what kind of issues they have, how we can support them. What I also really like, they ask me how can they support us. That's through partnership. Often it's a one-way traffic with customers, but I think this community is different. Clearly different. I think it sets us apart as being a leader in our space, not just the events like this, but we also have, kind of our in-house gardener
Yes.
with service leadership. So I think those two things combined really show that ConnectWise is the leader in the MSP space.
You certainly are. Now you're Chief Financial Officer.
That's
at
right.
ConnectWise. Does service leadership, Peter Kajawa, does they fall under that area?
No, he falls under our customers support, customer success organization. But I work very closely with him, so I use the benchmark data that he has. Of course, I don't know which partners are included, but to benchmark that against our own performance. So it's actually very helpful to see how are our partners doing and how is ConnectWise doing, and if there's a gap, how can we close that gap?
What could MSPs learn from the CFO of ConnectWise?
Well, I think one of the things that I'm new to the community here, and I'd love to participate more and be more active in the community. But I think one of the things that I'm very focused on is working with private equity and driving shareholder value. So that's my number one purpose here. And to the extent it's helpful, I'm happy to share some things with the MSP community. I think a lot of them are focused on how can we at some point be acquired, and you want to get to a certain EBITDA level, you want to get to a certain growth profile, ideally get to that rule of 40, as they say, which is the combination of EBITDA margin and revenue growth.
Right.
And when that adds up to 40, you're golden, and
Nice.
and you get a great valuation and a great exit, and people can go retire or start a new MSP. So doing some education there, and how do you scale a business? How do you get to that margin profile? What can you do to push a few notches out of your growth profile? certainly things that will be interesting to see. I would be interested to, have a bit of a discussion with some of our partners. That will be helpful. The other one, of course, the ones that are already acquired by the PE firms, and there's quite a few of those here as well, PE backed. How do you work with your board? What are their expectations? And because you really don't want to be in a situation where, as a management team of an MSP, you're being told by a 26-year-old PE guy what to do, right? Because the operators is the management team. So you want to make sure you ask them for advice where needed. But if you ask them for advice too often, they may think, oh, this guy doesn't know what he wants. And then you get the free advice from a 26-year-old without any operating experience who's going to tell you what to do.
Can you put this one on too?
Sure.
Just in case? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, so anyway. I'd love to be more active in this community, but at this point, I guess I'm still learning.
Getting advice from somebody, like you said, like in their 20s, it can be a little...
Yeah, I mean, the PE firm have their role in the world, and certainly they're great in terms of driving shareholder value. But in terms of how and the operations supporting that, I think that's not really their skill set. So that's why they hire management teams to do that for them. And it's a great dialogue and interaction. So, it's a good partnership.
Sure is. So I kind of alluded to before, what will be a successful week for you? What's some of your goals here?
I'm really always very focused on what can we do. So for me, short term is what can we do today. Medium term is what can we do this month, and long term is maybe what can we do this quarter, maybe 2 quarters ahead. So I'm very focused on successes every single day, every single week, as you described it, and then celebrate. So setting clear goals and working with the team to get stuff done every single day is important. Of course, you want to keep your North Star in mind, where you're sort of heading, but those little successes really matter. Rather than talking about it a lot and say, okay, we got to do this, we got to do that, but then often nothing happens. So I'm all about action and short term. By the way, private equity thinks that way too.
They do.
Yeah.
So many MSPs are tech-led, Rik, and they don't have the mindset.
Yep.
And it's those kind of soft skills of finance and even sales and marketing. They need help in,
Yeah.
Having somebody like yourself that's seasoned can only be a benefit for them if they need any kind of advice. Experience certainly helps. I would say, and that's also a little bit the ConnectWise culture perhaps, and maybe also at our partners. There's a bit of an engineering culture, which is great because we're tech companies, but it also means sometimes things get over-engineered. So you're getting really deep into the weeds, or you're trying to solve problems that are really not problems, and it's important to see the forest through the trees and really drive those initiatives that matter. And that's always a short list, 3 or 4 or 5 items, and stay focused on on what I said before, the North Star. That's important. In an engineering culture, that sometimes get lost. Yeah. What's your biggest surprise with the MSP community?
Well, actually, the fact how much of a community it is.
Yeah.
So I'd never heard of IT Nation before. I went to Secure last time around. This is my second one. Really enjoyed the sense of community, the way people look at each other to help each other. In a way, these are competitors.
Right.
But at the same time, they're very open and sharing information with them, making each other better. Because the market is big enough. We're talking about a TAM that is over $30 billion. So there's plenty of room for everyone to be successful. It's growing very nicely. Let's win together is kind of the mentality, which is pretty unique. I haven't seen that actually before in the software space, and I've been in the software world for the last 25 years. So it's a great space.
So I'm sorry.
Now, what I also like about the space is it's very focused on small, medium-sized businesses.
Right.
And yes, the space is a little bit under pressure now. High interest rate environment. Post-COVID lull a little bit. We saw a huge boom during COVID where a lot of our customers, of our partners, were growing through offshoring and outsourcing. That is coming back to sort of normalized levels. So there's a bit pressure on the revenue line, but I think as soon as interest rates start dropping, rumor is happens in September, which will be great. I think that market will come back in a roar. So great opportunity now to
consolidate and buy companies if you're private equity backed, and a great opportunity now to be ready for that growth wave that will be coming in the next 12, 18 months.
That's what you see happening. Hopefully.
Yeah, I think it will go alongside with the interest rate drops. I think people are cautious today, not really sure what's going to happen with the economy. I think people overplay, by the way, the U.S. election. I'm not sure if that will have a big impact. Nah, I don't think so. But interest rates are really driving the economy, and that's an important piece.
That's interesting perspective. Interest rates are driving the economy.
It drives investments, right? The fact that interest rates are so high means people are a little bit more cautious in terms of making hiring decisions, they're focusing more on efficiency rather than on growth. When interest rates drop and it's easier to get liquidity from bank loans or easier to buy companies with bank loans, you can get a little bit more entrepreneurial and a little bit more risk-taking, which will drive growth. So I'm very bullish actually over in the next couple of years ahead. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, I love that optimism. So you were in software for 25 years, but you weren't in the SMB kind of MSP space at all.
A little bit. I started my career as a partner at PwC and did a lot of work with a lot of software clients. Some of them were MSPs. Back in the day, I think they were called ASPs. Yeah, I've seen a couple of larger public software companies reporting into a CFO before I became a CFO myself. Electronic Arts was one of them. A lot of fun, gaming company, right? The other one was Equinix, a data center company. Yeah, ever since I've done CFO roles of private equity-backed companies, typically ones at scale, so at least a couple of thousand people, a couple of $100 million in revenue. So that's really what I've been doing and enjoy doing.
Has finance always interested you, Rik?
Yeah, definitely.
Really, as a child?
Well, yeah, finance and business, it's very related. I think finance, we're not just closing the books or providing board decks, right? There's a lot more going on. We're really supporting the business. And my key role is also supporting our CEO, Jason McGee, and make the business better. And as I said earlier on, driving that shareholder value.
So when you were younger, you were coaching your kids and they were coaching soccer and playing soccer. Did you bring you're a midfielder? So do you have a structured, kind of organized way of playing as well? I always think finance is like kind of structured.
Yeah, so it's funny you say that. I'm less structured than you might think or expect. I think I have a bit of a creativity in me and trying to find a path or a different way to achieve certain things or faster. We can't even cut corners. I'm less of a process guy. At the same time, I realize that's important in finance, so I surround me with great people like my chief accounting officer, who also recently joined, who will bring a lot of structure and policy and procedures in the company.
So are you more science than art?
Yeah, that's what economists are, right? It's kind of in between.
Right in the middle, yeah.
Yeah.
Because you still have to find creative ways, but there's still
some structure and compliance that matters too. That's sort of the baseline. But the exciting part is actually, making the business better.
What can MSPs do to be better partners with ConnectWise?
Yeah, so I've been asking a few of our partners about ConnectWise. We have some dry gunpowder, meaning we can do some acquisitions. So what would be helpful to our partners in terms of adding point solutions to our new ACO platform? So we're now a true platform company. I believe we have the best platform in the business. Some other companies claim to have the same. Some of them are really more point solution competitors like Halo and Ninja. Others, are more talk than delivery. So we have that platform now. So we have a great opportunity to buy additional point solutions and make that platform better. So I've been asking quite a few of our partners in the last couple of days, what do you think we should be adding? Obviously, themes like AI and low code and RPA come to mind. Data recovery is another one that came up. So we continuously looking at acquisitions. We're literally looking at a list of 50 or 60 companies.
Wow.
We're in touch with them all day long. We have a corp dev leader who reports to me, who does all that outbound work. And then when the timing is right, and I think the timing is good now, with the high interest rates environment still, companies started to struggle, so we can do some exciting acquisitions at this point in time. Valuations are good.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah, it is.
That's
Yeah.
very exciting. So you've been with ConnectWise for a short amount of time?
3 months.
Yeah. Any surprises?
No, there's a lot of stuff we need to do better.
Yes.
We talked a little bit about it this morning in the session. So when companies hit that $1 billion revenue level, and we're close, and you've done a number of acquisitions over the years, you create a level of complexity in your organization. Multiple systems and billing systems and sales teams and account management teams, and that complexity starts to creep up on you. And you're going to hit a wall, and the wall is typically around $1 billion. I've seen it at Electronic Arts and Equinix too.
Really?
And that's the time when you really need to start thinking through, okay, how do I make my business more scalable? What kind of people do I need? It's people, process, technology. What kind of business process do we need to change? How can we do things better, faster, smarter, cheaper? And then of course technology, how can we leverage software and technology to scale our businesses? And then when you have that behind you, you can keep growing and scaling. That $1 billion level is kind of an interesting reflection point, and I think we're there. So, and we're addressing it. I think the whole management team is fully aware of it. There's a ton of initiatives across the company, driving better processes and system integrations internally.
Does AI play a role in finance?
Oh, absolutely.
How
Yeah,
so?
we use RPA. Well, we push and pull a lot of data from different systems for our analysis. We use RPA for that. AI, if you think about developing presentations by a partner success team for our partners, when we give them their quarterly updates and the business reviews, you can use the AI for that. Pulling logos, stuff. There's a lot of stuff you can do. You can think about it in the engineering world in terms of even some coding. You've got to be careful there because you don't want to infringe any IP.
Right.
But there's a ton of ways where we can leverage AI, RPA, and then also low-code software, which is really exciting too. So we're not doing it enough. It sits under my CIO, who reports to me, Todd Hale, and he has an initiative driving those three technologies internally. And of course, Jeff on the product side is driving it externally for our partners.
Wow. It's an exciting time, Rik.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I'm super excited. Yeah,
Wow.
I'm new, but full of energy. Yeah.
Full of energy. Yeah.
Yeah.
You've got that IX spirit.
Yeah.
So I started my MSP back in the 90s, and I was working way too hard and not paying attention to myself. And before you know it, I have a doctor's appointment, and I'm 340 pounds.
Yeah.
And the doctor says to me, if I don't lose the weight, you're not going to see your daughter graduate. My daughter was just born.
Right.
So, I'm driving home, Rik, punching the steering wheel.
Yeah.
What have I done to myself? This is all me. It's my pie hole, right? I'm the one who did this.
Yeah.
Spent the next 6-7 months, lost 130 pounds.
Good for you.
Kept it off. You can't look at it as a finishing line, right? You got to continue.
Yep.
Right? And people say they want a quick answer. What's your secret? There's no secret.
Right.
My answer is discipline, right?
Yep.
I got willpower, I have some order, and that's how I did it.
Yeah.
So I wonder how discipline plays a role in your life.
Yeah. It's funny you say that because I gained 10 pounds in the last 3 months. So there's a lot of travel. There's unhealthy food, especially in Florida. It's not like California. Although, but it's discipline. And when you work hard and long hours and, you travel, you sometimes forget about the discipline. But I have 4 priorities in life. Number 1 is my personal health. And it's suffering. I know it because I'm not eating healthy enough. I'm not doing enough exercise just because I don't have the time. When I travel to Tampa, I'm 3 hours ahead. So I'm actually happy to get my sleep in the morning to catch a 9 a.m. meeting, right? And then when you get back to your apartment at the end of the day, you don't have the energy to go for your run. And by the way, it's so humid, you can't even run outside, right? So it's tough. So I'm trying to balance that. But that's my first priority. Second priority is family. So I work for my family, not the other way around.
Right.
Work is 3, and then number 4 is whatever else you have time for, and soccer is certainly one of those.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and watching an occasional Netflix movie or
That's right.
or listen to a podcast. I should check you out.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's only 4 million, so you got a lot to choose from.
Oh wow.
Yeah, podcasts.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sure you can give me some tips.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
especially in some of your areas of interest. And then,
Yeah.
of course, ConnectWise has access to hockey games of Lightning. I'm sure you'll go to some of those, and there'll be some kind of recreation mixed in a little bit.
Yeah, I haven't been to those yet, but I did go to a Messi game 3 weeks ago, so that was fun.
Miami.
Yeah, he didn't play; he
Good.
was injured, but I saw Yuri Alba, which was great.
One
Yeah.
of your players.
Yeah,
I mean, so the Major League Soccer is pretty much, a feeder for.
Yeah.
Or actually more of a retirement.
Yeah, retirement.
Yeah, because
yeah.
we have a lot of retirements retirees that came here,
But Miami has a good team. It was fun to see them.
they were very last, and now they're well. That's what happens when not only Miami. What's his name from Uruguay?
Suarez. He came out of Ajax, right?
That's right. He was at Ajax for a while.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, a lot of great players. I can't get enough of the sport. It's wonderful. Rik, thanks for so much for your time today. It was a great
I'm
pleasure.
glad we were able to talk a little bit about soccer too.
Yeah,
We're sharing a passion here.
That's right. Very
fantastic.
much. So. Enjoy the show.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you for listening and/or viewing Joey Pinz Discipline Conversations. Please share this episode with 1 or 2 of your friends who you think may benefit from the episode. Our website, www.joeypinz.com. There you'll find lots of resources, and you could join our mailing list. Please follow us on all our social media, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Podcast information, the video version of our podcast is on YouTube. Please subscribe. Audio is on all major podcasting platforms. Please follow them. And if you like it, please consider giving 5-star rating. Would really appreciate that. Thank you again for listening or watching Joey Pinz Discipline Conversations.